guys, we're back with another episode. Welcome to the Point of View podcast. And you guys already know who I am, and you guys already know who he is.
They don't know me.
Oh, please. I guess we'll have to do a session about us personally, like ask us any questions you want. But anyway, in the meantime, we want to thank you for rocking with us. This is our 5th episode, I believe. And during this quarantine time, this is the best time for you to kind of like pour into yourselves. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. All our health professionals, thank you. The people who have to be the front lines, thank you. We just want to make sure that we're kind of going through this time and being mindful of the things that we can actually do during that time, which is, taking time to kind of get closer to God, or taking time to like invest in yourself and reading and, just taking time to work on your business and, like you've been doing.
Can I tap on this
real
quick? Because I know this is not today's discussion, but I want to address this real quick. So, as many of you, not many people really know this. So when the outbreak started in the US with the coronavirus, I was still working.
Yeah.
And as a dental hygienist, it became like a big deal because for what we do, we could actually make things worse. We could actually spread the virus even faster. So it took a little bit for me before my office got shut down, actually. So I was working like while, people were in quarantine for at least 2 weeks, I believe, before, we were shut down, at least here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, I was at a Friday afternoon and I was joking because, I was seeing, people being, bored or depressed over, staying at home.
Yeah.
And I remember, so, I was just joking and I think I went on Twitter and I think on Instagram as well. And this is what I posted. It was on March 20th.
Yeah.
I was still working then. And I said, everybody's complaining about being in quarantine, this and that. Let me be in quarantine for a couple of weeks and watch me come out with 2 new careers, 3 Grammy-nominated albums, 5 Oscar-winning movies, and 22 new businesses. Laughing, crying emojis. I'm not messing around. No women. Hashtag COVID and
listen, and I've been seeing you putting in work, so I'm just saying.
I want to address
you did
that because by March 26th, because I found out I was gonna be staying home 2 days after. And so from March 20th, I've posted this. 6 days later, I had completed 3 different certificates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me address that because I am one that believe we need to be using this time for something purposeful.
Right.
Now,
definitely.
I've seen, different pushback from that. People saying like, this is not a competition for who's being more productive. We are going to a pandemic. And although I agree with that, and I'm not asking anybody to go collect certificates out there. But here's the thing, guys. After COVID-19, it's going to be something else.
Yeah.
Life has just changed for pretty much all of us. So you're never going to go back to the new normal. I mean, you're never going to go back to the old life. This is going to be the new normal. Some version of it anyway.
Right.
So my thing is that you don't need to go out there and, start doing craziness like I do. Because I'm always crazy anyway. So don't mind me. Ask them, like, this is my attitude throughout this pandemic is no different than what it was. It's just that I've been blessed with time. And me with time is scary. But it's nothing different, so it's just nothing different. So I'm doing what I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I have time now. So I'm doing 10 times the amount of work that I used to do. So my thing is that
but not everybody can be like that.
Yeah,
obviously.
and I'm not pushing for people to be like that. But here's my thing is take this time while we're going through this pandemic. Ask yourself, it's always going to be something going on.
Yeah.
So we have to learn how to pull to tough situation. And so my thing is that while you don't need to, start a new career and do all that craziness, ask yourself, is there something that I always ask myself whether I was good at. This is your time to test it out. Try it.
Yeah.
You have a couple weeks, to test something, read a book or do something. Again, it's not you guys are right. It's not a competition for productivity, but we can't just lay around and just watch Netflix all day either.
Right.
Most day, absolutely. I do it too sometimes.
I mean, you binge watch different shows, but
while I'm
you
working,
need that too. You need that.
So my thing is that
all about
don't
balance.
let's just let all of that time go to waste. That's all I'm asking for. Again, not a competition to see
who
gonna can accomplish, how much what. That's not what I'm looking into. But definitely, don't let all of that time goes to waste. No matter how depressed you are, hey, if you're depressed.
And I was actually gonna kind of touch on that as well.
Right.
While everybody can say, well, I want to work on this and I want to work on that, there are those who don't feel like getting out of bed. There are those who are losing their job right now. They don't know how they're going to provide for their family.
Absolutely.
So it's like, it's not always going to be an easy thing to do, but I think it's what I would recommend is for people to kind of look for resources. That way they don't drive themselves to the craziest points, inside of their house. So if you need, to find ways to cope and, find resources, like use that time to gain knowledge on, okay, how can I help myself through this situation, through this crisis? And if you even feel like you need to, call the crisis line or the suicide line, if you are someone battling with that, because this is very serious, please do so, and
Absolutely.
Reach out to someone and let them know how you're really feeling. And I think this is a time we actually need to check out on our friends and people that we know probably going through that situation differently than we are. So,
and also I'll tell people, like, I have lots of resources available as far as, online classes, different career paths, things that people can take advantage of that are all free.
Yeah.
And if anybody is interested doing what I'm doing right now, reach out to the Point of View podcast and I'll be willing to share some of that stuff with you guys. The reason why I'm not putting it out there, just, because I feel like people I don't want to bore people with, all of that stuff. And I've already gotten, kickbacks from that tweet and that post. And so I'm not pushing productivity on people. But if you feel like, I want to learn a different skill, or I want to, use some of that time to learn something, you reach out to us. I do have some resources, some really good YouTube channels, some Udemy courses, some Coursera courses, and, like some actual certificates, some from like real tech companies and all of that. So I have a lot of that stuff that I would, I definitely wouldn't mind sharing with,
of course,
with you guys.
Definitely reach out to us. And obviously, if you're also dealing with, things that you don't want to really talk about and you need a hotline and you need some kind of like resources, we'll link them below, and we'll also provide some information for that as well. I feel like we should have changed this topic, because now that we kind of...
Absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to do this, because I needed to address this. And I've been meaning to, either go on my Facebook or Instagram account, and it just dawned on me while you were speaking on the on COVID-19 that this is a platform to do so. So we just took 10 minutes out of this episode, but I'm glad we were able to do that and address this. So now we can go to our topic.
All right, on our topic, it's gonna be a little slightly different from what we're talking about, but I think it's also an important topic.
Right.
And like, as we like to start with a quote of the week, and you probably get an idea of what the topic is about. It reads, before you assume, learn the facts. Before you judge, understand why. Before you hurt someone, feel. And before you speak, think.
Big fan of that. I really am.
So you already know this conversation is going to go about, basically assumption and basically passing judgments without knowing the facts. And we live in a world where everybody's judging. No matter what you do, no matter, like, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like, you do good, you're being judged for it. You do bad, you're being judged for it. So it's something that kind of like is going to happen whether you like it or not.
Right.
But now is that now that we know that, we just need to kind of like tell ourselves, how can we be mindful of it when we're doing it? Because sometimes that kind of judgment can lead to certain, things that are further down the line.
Trust me, I know.
Talking about someone and saying the wrong fact, stating the wrong fact, and then, like bringing out rumors and kind of like trying to tarnish other people's reputation. There could be so many things that come into that. And it's like, oh, dude, I didn't even get a chance to even ask you personally and talk to that person before I started stating something just for seeing something.
Yeah.
From seeing something from them or an action or, things like that. But before I kind of get to that topic, I want to ask you, did you have an assumption about me before you met me? Because obviously you had probably about other people, but I want to ask about me, obviously, because I'm here sitting down.
Yeah. So, before I answer your question, I know too much about this topic because I have been, unfortunately, the victim of, assumption.
Lord.
I've been on the wrong side of this discussion because, I've had a lot of people assume so much about me and creating, hurtful rumors and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's something that I've gotten used to, so it's fun now, and we talk about it all the time. So it's kind of like, bring it. It's cool. Yeah, at this point, I don't mind anymore. And I was looked upon as someone that was judgmental. Oh. And until people start to realize that I don't care about much else but what I do.
I know so I did that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I would love to be judgmental, but it's not important to me like that. So I focus on my own little thing and that's it. So the sooner people realize that about me, the sooner they realize that, if you're waiting for GV to judge you right now, you're going to be waiting for a long time because I'm so focused on what I have going on and what I need to do. I'm very careless about most things. But
I know I asked you a question about me, but I want to know what they've, one thing you don't mind sharing about the judgment they passed on you. One I mean, obviously you just told me.
Yeah.
I guess the one that you being
judgmental. Okay. Because here's the thing. People, I guess, discipline comes with connotation of being judgmental as well. And so people get defensive around me once they realize the things that I don't do. Yeah. And so they assume that because I don't do certain things, I judge people that do it, Mm-hmm. So hence why me posting about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, which I have been doing, by the way. People assume that I'm looking at them as being lazy if they're not doing as much. When it simply is that I am a crazy person and I need to be doing all of that. Okay. And if you're not like that, I think you're normal and I think you're having fun and you're enjoying life. I wish I was like you, but I'm not. But until people, get to meet me really and have that conversation, they assume that, I look at them, as either being lazy or not being, this way or that and the other. When I'm like, I wish I could just kick back and do it, but my mind won't allow me. So that's one.
That's okay. Yeah. Now get to my question.
Yes, and your question now. Anyway, I was trying to run away from this a little bit.
This is me putting him in a hot spot.
I like that though.
Okay, we need to spice it up a little bit.
So my first impression of you was, jeez, you really get me to.
It's okay, just be honest.
It wasn't a great one.
Yeah,
because I looked at you as someone that. Yeah, I remember my first impression of you was that you were someone that cared too much about the things that don't matter to me. And I'll explain.
Okay.
So again, that's what it's called assumption. Yeah. So you draw a conclusion from something that you have no idea about.
Yes.
So we started talking on the phone, right? Mm-hmm. And so didn't know much about you. Mm-hmm. All I could see was, Facebook pictures and videos. And so I couldn't really get a sense of who you might or might not be until I stumbled on your YouTube account.
Guys, I hope I go back and erase those YouTube videos as soon as we're done with recording.
I was actually in New York recording. We were working on an album in New York. I was over there for like a month. And yeah, we were still talking then. I missed you by like 2 weeks because you were in New York for like a month also.
Yeah.
And it was time for me to actually go to New York. And I'm like, okay, finally I'm gonna get to meet you in person. But then you left.
As he was
and
dying.
you're in upstate New York anyway. And I was, like around like Queens, Brooklyn area. So we kind of missed each other, but we still kept in touch. And so, from talking to you, I jumped on YouTube and I found some of your videos and I started watching some of your stuff, talking about, girly stuff, like, looking cute and doing this and that. And how you don't take, certain men seriously because you this and that. I'm like, yeah.
This is so funny.
You gave me that, that popular high school girl, which diva vibe, and I'm like, yeah, I want like absolutely no part of this. I'll be honest,
guys, that was the interesting moment of my life.
My best friend was like, "Yo, I see you talking a lot to that girl. Like, what's up?" I'm like, "Bro, don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
like, it's not all
true
at all." Like,
all
I was
true.
like, yeah, there is nothing there, bro. I'm just passing time. Because, we're recording like overnight.
Yeah.
And so whenever I was awake and he was recording, I'll just be on my phone, like just texting you back and forth. And I'm like, yo, I'm just passing time. Don't worry about it. She's not my type at all. So, yes,
I don't know what changed, guys. I don't know what changed.
But then when I first met you, it was totally different.
Crazy.
Yeah, so.
But totally different as am I consistent till this day with that person you've met?
Honestly, once we started talking even more, that picture of you being, that girl, that, just focus on, just the way she looks and the way, that famous high school girl type of imagery that I have of you.
Totally not
that
me.
kind of dissipated very quick once I started to really learn about you and kind of get a taste of, who you were and the things that were important to you and who you stand for, what you stand for. That kind of dissipated very quick.
So like, did you feel like, oh, damn, I should have never made that assertion? Or did you feel like maybe I got a little bit of why she was like that? Or
no, I was honestly like, I completely got this wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I was even... I didn't even know
the distress of assumption, I should say.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Because I remember my first assumption of you was like, this dude is crazy. I guess I'm still right, but
right on the money.
I guess I'm still right, but I thought for some reason he was like this weirdo that probably doesn't understand anything. Like,
you're still right on the money.
Like, he be looking lost. And guys, no, that's one thing I was wrong about. That's one thing I was right, but I was right on the money, except you proved me wrong. Totally, when it comes to being lost, he ain't lost. He know exactly what's happening at all time. Well, very calculated kind of guy. So it's like, I was like, you know what? But that was still intriguing to me though, even though you were still crazy to me and like you were a weirdo, but I was always like attracted to weirdos, even in, I don't want to say that in high school. I'm going to put that because my best friend is a weirdo. I think I'm a weirdo. So it's not just to downplay what, like being a weirdo is a bad thing or anything. I like it. But that was my assumption of you. And the fact that I thought you were pretty like lost and like don't know what's going on, I was totally wrong.
To me, that's very much accurate.
Yo, but the thing is, I feel like it's more of a like...
facade?
Yeah, it's not a facade. I think it's part of you, but except I feel like you do know what's going on.
So here's the thing.
You calculate it.
I know because you guys never see me calling myself out like that, like calling myself crazy. The reason why we call me crazy is because I only focus on the things that I care about and only that.
Yeah.
Like, I can see you every day and not even realize you got a new hairdo or haircut. Like, that's how much I really mind my business.
Yeah.
Like, if you spend enough time around me, like, you will know. Like, I only mind my little business and that only. Like, my surrounding is not much important to me. So that's why we call me crazy, because I'm able to just focus on things that I care about and just stay there. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I know that when it comes to assumption, I feel like we can get so deep into it because obviously we can see someone and we not know exactly what they stand for, literally nothing about them, but just like a simple thing that they have on or something that they did, and we just totally put this whole like title on them because of not knowing. But I know, like, I guess we're Christians, obviously, from the Bible, from 1 Samuel 16 verse 7, it says that, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Now, with this is straight up clear that the Lord looks inward and not on the outside and what others see.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that gives us some kind of like a pass to kind of do whatever we want? Because I know people usually like to throw out, don't judge me, only God can judge me. Because like, what is the fine line between, you don't have the power to judge?
Asking like so where do we actually, because our assumption is a bad thing and we shouldn't assume,
because we shouldn't
do we
assume.
still care about, or a certain appearance?
Yes. Do we still care about a certain appearance and look in a certain way?
I think you still
because
do.
We're so like.
So it goes back to the last conversation about putting the right energy on things. So your appearance still carry a certain message.
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, how important is that for you? For instance, I do a lot of different things and I perform in different fields and stuff like that. But when I go to work, when I'm working as a hygienist, I want my patient to have confidence in me.
Right.
And so I carry myself a certain way. Does that mean that, I need to cater to, what makes people feel good to a certain extent? Not necessarily, but it comes down to what I want to deal with and what I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And so me being clean shaved doesn't actually affect how well I can skill, how well I can take care of my patient. But it helps that, the person that's gonna take care of you looks clean and, looks the part.
Right.
It helps. And so I wanna be able to, walk in the room and, look fresh and look clean. But that's important to me in that aspect.
Right.
In certain area, maybe I don't care so much about my appearance.
Right.
And again, that's why I'm saying, like, it's an ever evolving conversation, because then again, if I'm being the recipient, if someone walks in with their hair undo and stuff like that, how do I receive that?
Right.
And so it's an ever going conversation between what you think is acceptable, how much you need to care about something.
And I want to add to that, because I think that there's also, I think it comes with, I guess what I want to say is, even if we have a responsibility to carry ourselves the way that, we feel confident about, in the way that we want to carry ourselves.
Yeah.
But on the other side, the other party who's looking out, they should kind of like be mindful of, before judging that person or before going into conclusions and drawing conclusions and assuming what they are because of a certain way they look, instead of making that assumption, why not get to know that person?
Exactly.
And I think once we pass that, you know what, before I even judge and automatically put judgment on this person, let me actually get to become their friend. Let me kind of learn about them. And obviously, some people learn about them for the wrong reasons, so that they could know their business and, kind of like go and spread it out, or know their business so they could feel good about them. I mean, whatever reason, but make sure that we're doing it with a heart that is pure, and if we feel like that might lead us to going out and judging them even more after knowing their business, just mind your own business. Just
So-
like you said, mind your business. Go back home and try to stop yourself, refrain yourself from, thinking and going there. And if you don't want to be talk to them and you feel like you're judging them, if you're not going to get to know them for the right reason, just move away, back down.
And for people that deal with that, where people assume a lot about them,
Yeah.
my thing for you is that be yourself at all time,
Yeah.
because then it's easier for someone that is trying to get to know you
Yeah.
to be able to know you. Because again,
Yeah.
when people assume and judge you, it plays with your mind where you're trying to adjust to their idea of you.
Right.
Trust me, you can never win that game.
Never.
You can never win that game. The only thing you can be is you.
Right.
By being you, that's easy to explain.
That's right.
I am. But it's hard and downright impossible to explain who you're supposed to be for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
How someone else is viewing you. You can't explain that. That's their idea of you. You can only stick to who you are. And that's why, when we started the conversation with, being judged and, me not caring about, what people are saying. That's why, because I can only control who I am and what I do.
Yeah.
So if you view it a different way, I can play into that. That's your idea.
Mm.
You explain that. You explain to people why you think GV is this and that.
Yeah.
And why you assume this and that. You go ahead and explain that, because that's your idea of me. So I can't carry that load of now having to play into who you think I am.
That's
or
right.
what you think I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I can only be me. And anybody that deals with that, just stick to who you are.
That's right.
And if who you are makes someone uncomfortable, then so be it.
Yeah.
But you can go ahead and, try to play into their idea of who you are or who you're supposed to be.
Thank you. That was well said. And I think that's a very essential part of it. Being true to yourself, no matter and regardless of what people are saying.
Yeah.
But for our challenge of the week, I actually have the challenge of the week for us, and it's 3 simple steps. When you find yourself about to judge someone and assume and make assumptions, you'll have to tell yourself 3 things. The first one is to ask God to show you any prejudices or judgments that might linger in your heart, so that you can technically confess them. Because the first thing is, we already know we're sinners and that there's going to be time where we're going to judge, no matter what we want to do or not, and no matter how we can portray ourselves to be very perfect. But that's what we do as part of human. We have to accept the fact that we judge.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, and no matter whether we're judging good or bad, even God is saying that He's gonna judge us, and He's gonna, for what we do. So there are times we're going to have to judge, and we're gonna end up judging. But if we're doing it in a malicious way, we need to ask God for for forgiveness for that. And we need to confess those sins, because at the end of the day, God only knows the heart, what He said. The second one is to seek to gain an understanding of the customs of other ethnic groups in your community. Are any of those customs a possible source of racial prejudice or discrimination? So for other people who might look different than us, and whether we want to, see it as that, is sometimes we become prejudiced, we don't even realize it, and we become prejudiced of other ethnic groups, and we haven't dissect into it. But we really want to seek understanding before we kind of pass those judgments, get to know that person's culture and the different ethnic backgrounds and stuff. The third one is to get to know people, learn their heart, and that will basically tell you a little bit more about their appearance and who they really are. So the first step, ask God for forgiveness and confess those judgments whenever you find yourself judging. The second one is to get to know the person, ethnic background and understanding of their groups and why they appear to be a certain way. And the third one is to basically learn to get to know people and their heart.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Once you get to know someone's heart, that alone tells you who they really are. And I think that could be, that basically is the 3 steps that you should take when you feel like you're about to pass the wrong judgment.
And my takeaway from this conversation is So it's okay to have an impression. It's okay to have a point of view. But when you go and you ask question, when you look into, what is it that this is,
Hmm.
not based in my conclusion or basing your decision from your point of view, but actually gathering information. That's what makes a difference. So you have a first impression, but then you go and gather information so you can have a well-informed opinion.
Yeah.
So that's the difference there, right? So
Yeah.
your opinion shouldn't be based on your impression.
Yeah. Nice.
Got it? Your
Nice.
opinion. So your impression is
Nice.
gonna be there. If I see something, my mind will register it a certain way.
Right.
But that can't be my opinion. My opinion has to be based on something more solid than just what my first impression is.
Yeah.
So my opinion is gonna based on the information that I gather. It could be based on just more observations, but not just what hits me at first. So as long as I base my opinion on something more solid than what I see at first, then I think then I'm pretty safe there.
Right. Thank you so much for that. That was, we're going to end at that. And this was the point of view from the both of us. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And we are waiting for you until next time.
Absolutely, guys. And I always encourage you guys to keep sharing this.
Yes.
We will be moving into, weekly episodes. Things are a little bit more fluid right now, but once we get settled with, some upcoming news, but once we get settled in, we'll definitely, move into, more weekly episodes. But I think you guys gonna like it, the direction that we're taking this to. So, keep rocking with us. Keep sharing this. Get your people to listen to this podcast. Get your people to watch or listen to this.
We're
keep
everywhere.
Sharing it, Keep sharing it. Tag your friends. Like tag 2, 3, 5, 10 people on there, so you can make sure they see it and they go subscribe themselves.
And also, you can also share your give us suggestions on the topics that you want to hear from both of us, and we'll be glad to say. I mean, we have a list of topics already, but you can still kind of add to them, and we'll be happy to do them. And obviously, we are looking to in the future have guest speakers, and I guess on our podcast right now we're not able to kind of like get that going, but we're having some exciting.
It's almost there. Keep rocking. Trust
news.
Me. I got some real good for you guys. Y'all know I keep my promise. So
all right,
this is gonna get even better. So yep.
Thanks again for watching and for listening. We're out.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.